With the road to WrestleMania coming to a close in about 11 days, there are some things that bother me. It's a heads or tails road, specifically on Smackdown. On the one hand, we finally got what we wanted. That's Kofi challenging Daniel Bryan for the WWE title at WrestleMania 35. Albeit, it had to be done indirectly. It was done indirectly. That being, last night, Xavier and Big E had to win Kofi the shot. By winning a tag team gauntlet. Long story short, for those wondering, originally Kofi was supposed to get his title shot at Fastlane, but Vince McMahon, with Daniel Bryan's influence, believed Kofi wasn't fit for it. In his eyes, Kofi is much like Daniel was in 2013-2014, a quote-unquote B-plus player. Really? Recycling that tagline? Kinda makes Daniel Bryan look like a hypocrite now, doesn't it? Especially when he spent nearly 3 years on the shelf. If that's not the definition of a B-plus player, I don't know what is. Kofi was busting his ass night in and on the other hand, was busting his ass night in and night out after Daniel was forced to call it quits. Who's the real B-plus player in that case? Huh? Mr. Danielson? And basically, Vince has done everything he could to put Kofi down. From putting him in lying to him about a triple threat match for the title at Fastlane, instead putting him in a handicap match where he got massacred by the Bar, forcing him to fight a 5-man gauntlet and then turning it into a 6-man gauntlet at the last minute to screw Kofi. As far as I'm... in that case... I've had all I can stand, and I can stand no more. We've had all we can stand of Vince's shit, and we can stand no more. And we can't stand no more. On the other hand, the whole Becky, Rhonda, Charlotte triangle. Now, let me be blunt. The storytelling for this has been crap. The build for this has been crap. Crap all across the board. Rhonda's heel turn, don't get me wrong, has been handled to some degree of competence. But what was supposed to be Becky versus Rhonda alone after Becky won subbing for Lana at the Royal Rumble has turned into a triple threat because Becky thinks she's too much of a badass. Yes, it got her suspended, and Charlotte got put in the main event, in the women's title match. Again, handed everything to her on a plate because of her last name of Flair. Then Rhonda vacating the title. Well, stating that if Becky wasn't in the main event at WrestleMania, she wasn't going to be in it. She wasn't going to be the champion. Then at Fastlane, a match was made that was originally supposed to be for a vacated title, but then Rhonda took the title back and demanded the match have that if Becky won, she gets into the main event at WrestleMania. Becky won it. And then you have the bullshit that was last night. Namely, we were supposed to have a triple threat between Sonya Deville, Naomi, and Mandy Rhodes to determine who'd face Asuka for the Smackdown title. But Vince, having a Flair get in his ear, lets the victim get into the hen house and more or less steal the title from Asuka. A year ago, he had Charlotte and Asuka's unbeaten streak of nearly 3 years. This year, he takes the SmackDown title off Asuka. Granted, he wasn't doing a damn thing with her for 5 fucking weeks after the Rumble. And Asuka, I feel the most pity for because the only reason she won the SmackDown title at TLC was because of Ronda Rousey getting involved in the triple threat at ladder match, TLC match, that she, Becky, and Charlotte had. And I mean, what's this going to do to the main event at WrestleMania? Does this mean now the belts are going to be unified and we're just going to have one woman's title again? Are you kidding me? You really going to go that far with it? That's horse shit. Vince, you need to pull your head out of your ass, and you need to pull Charlotte out of the title hunt next Sunday. I.e., Becky or Ron. I'd be happier if Becky regained both titles or Rhonda retained hers and captured the Smackdown one. Either one way will work with me. Do not, I repeat, do not have the queen bitch, Charlotte, retain her title and capture the Raw one at WrestleMania. Because the fans are sick of the queen. The only reason she's got 8 women's world titles is because of her last name. She wrote the coattails of her daddy. As far as I'm concerned, Ashley Flair, since that's your real name, if you don't get off your high horse, you're going to end up like your brother Reed. 6 feet under! All because your daddy wants to flaunt his influence with the cops. Instead of doing what Jerry did to Brian. Now, while I do find the circumstance behind Brian Christopher's death a bit tragic, he brought it upon himself because he thought that his name carried weight. And for a while it did, but then his pappy said no. This time, and this is something I do give Jerry the King a lot of respect for, more so than I would Ric Flair. He at least has the cojones to make his kids, to discipline his kids the right way when they do something wrong. Even if the kids in question won't do the time for their crimes. And Brian and Christopher sure as hell didn't want to do that. So he took the coward's way out. And so he took the easy way out. I know I shouldn't be that judgmental of the Flair family. But come on. What the hell happened to David after his failed attempt to train to wrestle? He went off into obscurity, never to be seen from again. What's happened to Charlotte? She's had an ego about as big as her daddy and has won about half as many world titles with her. And I already mentioned what happened to Reed. Got into trouble with too many times with the law. They didn't give him no more than a slap in the wrist because of who his daddy is, and that ended up killing him. This better be Charlotte's last run as a women's champion. Because the fans are sick of the queen. The queen needs to be deposed. Ousted. Dethroned. Removed. And forced to the back of the line. Turn the princess into a pauper. That's all I'm going to say about that. As for the MS Shan angle, well, it's nice to see that Miz has this fire about him that he didn't have when they first started to turn babyface in 2012-2013. Now, this is a Miz I can get behind. Babyface Miz, I feel like I can legitimately get behind. And with a falls count anywhere stipulation, this ought to be a doozy. So, good luck, Mikey. You're going to need it if Shane's going to pull out every stop to best you. But let's keep in mind, Shane's win-loss record at WrestleMania is rather spotty at best. I mean, sure, he beat X-Pac at WrestleMania 15. He beat his daddy in a street fight at WrestleMania 17. But he got decimated by The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. But he got his face buried. But let's face it, he got his face buried in his daddy's ass crack in WrestleMania 22. He got decimated in Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 32 by The Undertaker. Got pummeled by AJ Styles at WrestleMania 33, and arguably the match of that shit show. And was barely able to win by the skin of... He and Bryan were barely able to win by the skin of their teeth over Zayn and Owens at WrestleMania last year. And that's the truth. Here's about you, Shane O'Mac. Shane Brand McMahon, you're going down at WrestleMania 35. Because you're not the best in the world. You're the lowest of the low. Mets 2128 signing out. I'm done. Peace. Goodbye. Mwah. And good effing day.